Hi, and welcome to Astrology for the People. This is for the new moon in Gemini on Wednesday, the 17th of June, 2015. I'm out on the mountain today and I've got an energy forecast for you for the next couple of weeks. We're going to touch on what the planets are doing, but much more so, this is about how we can work with those influences to flow with the cosmic tides rather than against them. So I'll get into that for you now. Welcome. Wow, so I can already feel the words kind of tumbling out of my mouth. We're certainly in the heights of Gemini. You might be able to hear the dogs. I'm out on the mountain today. We're going to be building a beautiful home out here at the end of the year, not too far from Brisbane. So yeah, it's interesting being in a different environment and doing things a bit differently. I've chosen not to make a whole lot of notes this week around what I want to share with you, and that's kind of indicative of the time. Gemini is really about change. It's more changeable than any other sign. And with the Sun conjunct Mars at the moment, there's also a big focus around doing, and we've got this T-square going on between that Sun-Mars conjunction and also Black Moon Lilith in Virgo and Chiron in Pisces. And we're kind of being invited to look at how we can do things differently. Is the way that we're currently doing things serving us, and also the way we look at things, the way we see things, the way we think about things. Gemini is about attitude in a big way as well, and so we kind of get the way that our perspective influences our experience of our immediate environment, Gemini also being the immediate environment. So it's an interesting time. I spoke to you last fortnight about this surge of energy that was coming, and we're just starting to feel this picking up now. Mercury went direct a couple of days ago, which a lot of people were very excited about. It's been an interesting and a challenging retrograde period, but there's been the powerful opportunity there for some deep work to happen and for us to look at what is standing in the way of us moving forward, this ongoing journey of us in this life, seeking out the barriers that we've built to love and the barriers that we've built to happiness. So this retrograde period has been kind of a big digging up that's taken place, and now we're really seeing some fortunate aspects for some awesome forward movement over the next week or two. The thing to bear in mind at the moment is because there has been this build-up of tension and this frustration that's happened around the Mercury retrograde, as things are getting ready to move forward, we may find ourselves kind of, if we don't center and become steady before we start to move forward, we're kind of going to come out of the gates and clunk, 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 falling over ourselves a little bit. So it's a really powerful time now, particularly with this new moon coming up, to take a moment just to center and become really steady within yourself. Because there's an incredible possibility for some great things to happen. We've got a stunning Jupiter-Uranus trine that's happening. It's exact next week, but this week, next week, the week after, it's all going to be felt. And this is expansion in new ways. This is revolutionary expansion, and so it's inviting us to go about doing things a different way. And I know that for me personally, I've always been the kind of person who likes to plan things down to every little detail, and particularly recently, I'll be quite disciplined and okay, so this is what do I want to achieve over this period, and so I'm going to do this and this and this. And yeah, what I've really been sensing today and yesterday is this real invitation to go about things a bit differently. I read an interesting article a couple of days ago that reaffirmed a realization that I had a couple of years back around discipline versus motivation. And when we try and motivate to do something to do, we try and motivate ourselves to do something, there's kind of this winding up and we get this burst of energy that's not really sustainable. And there's also this belief that we need to be in the mood to do something, which when we've got old habits and old patterns that want to do other things, it's like not really accurate information to be going off. So yeah, this opportunity to drop into discipline, and that's something that I have been doing the last couple of years is okay, I don't really feel like doing this, but I'm gonna start it anyway and see how I feel. But it feels like there's another level underneath that, and this kind of brings me around to the point that I'm trying to make, which is the universe is inherently creative. There is this creative force that, you know, all of this exists as a result of creation, whether you take that in its traditional religious sense or whether you take that, you know, in the sense of the Big Bang, it doesn't matter. There is this creative force. Life itself wants to grow, wants to evolve. If the conditions are right, plants are going to grow. You don't have to like slowly stretch flowers out of the ground. It doesn't work like that. So yeah, realizing that, and rather than necessarily feeling like we need to try and do things and put all of this energy into, okay, I'm going to do this now, and it's kind of this uphill push. It feels like the invitation over the next bit is to create space for things to happen. So there is still action there. It's not that we stop doing, it's more that we stop imposing our will on the situation and we allow the natural creativity of life to move through us a bit more. Whereby, yeah, you know, it might mean rather than making a to-do list and saying, okay, I'm going to achieve this and this and this over the next few days, regardless of anything, which what that creates is this kind of attachment to outcomes and this stress and this anxiety and this pressure and these deadlines. If we can instead say, I'm going to set aside 3 hours today, or I'm going to set aside 12 hours over the next 4 days to show up and to say, okay, what does life want from me? What does my business want from me? What is the next step in the growth path of my own personal journey now? And what that seems to do is, rather than imposing all of these thoughts on what we think needs to happen, which often not sends us down one path and then another path, and we find ourselves backtracking and actually wasting a lot of time in the long run. By showing up and creating that space and then taking the first 15 minutes of that time to drop in and become still. It's like, rather than the water being turbulent and everything being, you know, quite agitated and really drawing energy from that place, there comes a clarity in that stillness. And the way forward then becomes clear rather than needing to figure out all the time. And the other thing that I've been reflecting on that kind of ties into this is this sense of how much can we trust ourselves in this moment. If we trust ourselves to be self-connected moment by moment, we don't need all of these rules and these plans, because we believe in our own ability to sense minute by minute what is of greater service to us in that moment. And if that's, you know, taking time to work or taking time to be, or yeah, so it's kind of striking this balance. I feel like there needs to be that discipline and the space needs to be set aside, and at the same time I feel like there's a real opportunity to focus on dropping into the present over the next bit and not needing to see the future so much, being able to trust that, okay, well, all I need to do is create the space, and then what needs to unfold will unfold. I don't need to know and understand every step of the path that's going to take me from here to there. So yeah, I think I need to do more videos out here. I'm really enjoying this. So I've, you know, thrown out my old way of doing things this time and decided just to trust in my ranting to an extent. That seems to be the gist of what's going on. There's a real invitation to take some powerful steps forward, but really need to steady. We all really need to steady ourselves before we do this. So that we can harness that energy rather than kind of just getting spun and tumbled. Yeah, so yeah, I might actually wrap it up there. You know, I've said a lot in that time, I feel. There's a lot to kind of sit with and be with and explore a little bit. Yeah, I'm here if you need to reach out at any point. I am back in action after my very blobby, not this last week, but the week before was, yeah, very slow. And then last week was a lot of inner work. I'm feeling really ready to start connecting again. So yeah, feel free to reach out if you're seeking a reading, if you're seeking some guidance and some energy work. I'm totally happy to drop in with you and see if we can help clear anything that's creating challenges for you. And yeah, like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. I'm really loving watching this garden grow. I'm so grateful. It's going to be a powerful experience moving out here as well. We're about half an hour Brisbane side of Toowoomba on the mountain here, so I'll definitely be still available in Brisbane to connect, but also in Toowoomba. So if you know anyone out that way and you want to hook them up with what we're doing, the Heart Garden is going to be expanding a little bit. Got some juicy plans that I'll share with you guys soon. And next term of energy healing classes is going to be starting. Intro night is on the 23rd of June. So if that's something that you feel called to be a part of, it's going to be a closed group after that intro night. So yeah, if that's something you'd like to know more about, feel free to get in touch. I'm going to be posting the details about that intro night in the next couple of days. It is capped at 11 spaces. So yeah, follow your heart on that one. And if I see you there, I see you there. Thanks so much for watching again, guys. And yeah, looking forward to seeing you again in a fortnight. Enjoy this next couple of weeks. It's yummy after a challenging time. If we can ground and yeah, connect to ourselves and connect to our truth, there's some beautiful stuff that can come over the next couple of weeks. And yeah, have a beautiful day. I love you. And I will see you in a fortnight. Bye.